Hey, this is Overpass Insights. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today I want to talk about the judge ordering Apple to ease restrictions. Alright, so I don't know if you guys have been following the epic Apple antitrust suit. I know we talked about it a lot back when it was kicking off in the beginning, and we definitely talk about it each week on the live stream. But there was a big decision that came out last week from a judge that kind of could potentially have lasting implication for us app developers. So here's an article as it was in the New York Times on Friday. Judge orders Apple to ease restrictions on app developers. The decision could have major implications for thousands of businesses that pay Apple billions of dollars each year. And it goes on to say, a federal judge on Friday struck a serious blow to Apple's control of its App Store, giving companies a way to avoid handing Apple a cut on their app sales and potentially upending a $100 billion online market. And it talks about how, in addition to some rules and regulations that came into Japan and in North Korea, and that the Senate actually calling them a monopoly, it says, together the legal setbacks and the tighter regulatory controls indicate that Apple's long run of calling the shots on the App Store, one of the linchpins of the internet economy, may be ending. That could represent one of the tech industry's most substantial changes in years as smaller businesses keep more control of their profits and Apple's ability to be an unavoidable toll collector slips away. And it goes on to say, the judge, Yvonne Rodriguez of U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California, said Apple violated California's laws against unfair competition by barring app developers from directing customers to other ways of paying for their services. She ordered Apple to start letting developers include links to their apps to other payment methods within 90 days. And it goes on to say that Apple may appeal this, but what it means is that as app developers, if we wanted to redirect them to an external website to actually make their purchases that way, that we should be allowed to do that going forward. And it also says that there's also the suit between Epic and Google, which should go to court later this year. So I'm kind of wondering what you guys think about this. Like every time we talk on the live stream, it's kind of like, where do you stand on the whole Epic versus Apple thing, and how does it relate to us app developers? And my initial instinct is always, this is fantastic news for app developers. We're going to keep more of our profits. We could just, that's all. 30% has always been a lot to pay to Apple and Google. And then there's the other side of me that thinks, we kind of knew this going in. See, I know if I was, say, I'm not making $1 million a year through in-app purchases. If I was, that 300,000 might be like, I might be a little mad about that, even if I was making more than $1 million, but I'm making a lot less, and that 30% does sting. But it's also, I realize that they set up the rules of the game when I got into it, and yeah, it kind of is their playing field, and as we're working on it. But it is monopolistic. When both Google and Apple decided that they wanted to do the same 30%, then you're like, well, that's kind of weird that it's the same number between both of them. So I think ultimately it's going to be good. It's going to be good for payment companies. It's going to be good for Stripe. It's going to be good for a lot of developers out there just going forward. But I wonder what kind of ramifications it's going to have going forward. Right now, as developers, we pay $25 to get onto the Google Play Store. And I think it's still $25. I did it back in 2012. So, and we pay $99 a year to renew our Apple Developer Certificate, which is relatively pretty inexpensive if you're making enough revenue from that. So I wonder whether or not that's going to go up, if other things are going to get more and more difficult going forward. That's the only thing I'm wary about. Like this kind of thing, it seems like it's going to be great that we end up making all that money back as developers, but I can't see how Apple would just let that go. And if Google is forced to do the same thing, if they would just be able to let that go. The reason I'm making this video is I wanted to if you guys haven't been following this, because I kind of tune in and out from time to time, and you're not really paying attention to what's going on, but our industry is changing all the time, and as developers we should know about it. When we work with clients, we have to be able to tell them what's going on and what's potentially down the road. A lot of the clients that I've had just didn't know anything about that 30% fee that goes to Apple and Google until all this lawsuit and everything came out. I mean, to the layperson, they didn't realize what us developers had to pay. So my question to you guys is, what do you think? I'm, like I said, I'm skeptical. I'm thinking, that money's going to come from somewhere, and if we're not able to do it through that cut through our in-app purchases, what else is going to go up? What's going to become more difficult? Maybe we have to pay for each app we put on, or maybe we have to do whatever, something else different. But it'll be interesting to see where things go. Where do you think it'll go? What is your opinion of this? How much, well, if you're willing to say it, how much money will this end up, saving you or making you? And what's your general opinion of this? Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope you guys are having a great day, having a great week, and that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys again next time.